about puzzles. Puzzles are a really fun toy to play with to work on speech and language skills. I have lots of puzzles in my practice, and I've chosen these puzzles because they have two different types. This first one is these chunky block puzzles that I really love because for little fingers, these are a lot easier to pick up. And as they get more fine motor skills, then they can move up to the peg pieces. But these puzzles are really special because they have these solid wood, they're really colorful, and then on the inside you can see their little shadow outlines of the animals. So when they match the pieces, they can match the shadow to the animal and see that it has the legs and it's the horse. Then, when you've matched your animals, you can flip this puzzle over, and then you have a whole picture scene where you can make the horse walk, 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 and eat the hay. Yum, 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 yum. So it gives you lots of opportunities for language. Not only just labeling the animals when you're putting them in, but it also gives you more to talk about with their verbs, their actions. So on this side, you're gonna work on the nouns and the names of them. And on this side, you can work on actions. The ducky's swimming, or the pig is eating, things like that, or the pig is playing in the mud. Those are really great ones. There's the farm animal one, and there's also the jungle wild animal puzzle that goes into more of the hippos and lions, which is a really fun puzzle. And it does the same thing. You flip it over, and it's a picture scene that you can act out with the animals. And then these are my peg puzzles that I really like too, because they do have those little pegs, and it's great for fine motor of using their little fingers to grab those, and you can make the vehicle noises. So this is all emergency vehicles, helicopters, motorcycles, fire engine, and when you talk about them, you can work on the vehicle sounds like wee-oo, the police car, or the boat goes honk, honk. And sometimes they do that. And then another one that I have is the construction vehicles. So it's a peg puzzle also, but maybe your child really likes construction equipment, and they may know all the names of these. I have lots of kids who have taught me the names of these construction vehicles that I did not know before. So that's a really fun one also. So while you're playing with a puzzle, one of the first things I usually do when I introduce a puzzle to a kid is I will have the pieces in here, and I tend to go like this and dump the pieces into my lap as I sit on the floor, and I give them the board. So while you're playing with your child in your 20 minutes a day to work on their speech and language skills, puzzles can be really great to help you facilitate that language and create those opportunities. So while you give them the board and you have all the pieces, they're waiting for you. They might be reaching for some of these that you have in your lap. They may be trying to get them out of you, but you're gonna keep them to yourself so that you can hold them up and show the pieces. And this is one of our first strategies. We do the waiting first. So we hold it up and we look at our child, and maybe they're gonna reach to grab it, and you're gonna go, oh, look, did you see? It's a chicken, bok, bok, bok. Because if your child doesn't have the words yet, you need to provide the language. You don't want to just hand the pieces over freely without talking about what they are, because that's your opportunity to teach them chicken, bok, bok, and make up your chicken sound. So my chicken always says bok, bok, but maybe yours says something different. And then you give them the chicken piece and they put the chicken in. And then the next time you do it again. You hold it up and you wait. And you look at your child like you're waiting for them to say something. Maybe they reach for it, maybe they grunt, maybe they cry, maybe they try and maybe they know the horse and they go neigh, neigh, and then you give them the horse piece and they'll put that piece in. You continue to do this. You hold it up, you wait, and over time they learn, oh, she's waiting because she wants me to say something or do something. She wants me to reach for it. She wants me to open my hand, put it in their hand. You might, for the cow, moo is a wonderful target because it works on those lips and they can see it. Moo. And they might say cow, and then you give them the cow and they put the cow in. And you go back and forth like this. You're putting all these puzzle pieces in, you're holding them up, you're waiting, and then the child asks for it and you give it to them. Their asking can look like a lot of different things. When children are beginning to learn language, they primarily will use gestures, they might use some sounds, and they might start then to use some words. Maybe they know puppy for dog, and they'll say pup, 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 and you'll give them the dog, or they'll say woof, woof, and you give them the dog. Whatever attempt they make, when you're sitting with them and you're playing with them, they're engaged. You can read what they want on their face by following their eyes. Whatever they're looking at, that's what they're thinking about. So if you're paying attention and by playing with them, you can see, oh, they're looking for the pig. I'm gonna give them the pig next. Piggy says, oink, oink, and you give them the pig and they put it in. And they're gonna reach for it. If you have them out, they might reach for them, but you wanna try to be giving them the pieces rather than just taking them from you. Another fun thing I do is if you have a kid who's just constantly grabbing for the toy, is I will take my other hand and I will shape theirs into an open hand so I can give it to them versus them grabbing it from me. Because that's more of a requesting gesture rather than the taking. So if your child is 2 to 3 years old, a 1-year-old is just gonna take the toys and that's okay. But if they're old enough to try to turn their hand, you can do that for them. And you just gently turn it over and then you sort of fade that. So the next time they might put it like this, and then you can just tap and they'll flip it over and you'll put it in their hand. It's a nice way to request before they have their words. And then as they're building their words and they're starting to say sounds, like for bunny, for example, you could go hop, 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 and they make that sound. And they do hop, and then you give them the rabbit and they put it in. Okay, so you've put all the pieces in, you've matched them all. Now we get to take them all out again. So I would do that same thing. I would take this puzzle, I would dump it in my lap, and I say, hey, let's turn it over. And we'll turn this puzzle over. And then you can do the actions. You can start talking about the ducky's gonna swim, or the pig is in the mud, rolling in the mud. Oh, look, the chicken, oh, it's on some eggs. And you see what your child does. You give them the dog and you see where they put the dog. This is when you start commenting. You start doing the parallel talk of what they are doing. So if they take the dog and they start walking the dog, you'll go, oh, look, the dog is in the grass. Look at that, he's walking in the grass. Or if they have the bunny and they're going like this and you go, oh, look, the bunny sees the rock. Do you see the rock? So it may feel a little silly because you may feel like you're talking to yourself, but your child is hearing all these words. They're soaking in that language, and they may start doing other things, like you could say, oh, I think the doggy's hungry. And he might take the dog over and, oh yeah, give the doggy the carrot. Yum, 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 yum. And he eats the carrot and the child pretends. You take a piece and you do your thing and you talk about, I'm gonna make the horse eat the hay. And then your child might be playing too. This works great because you have these two sides on this puzzle. But when you have a puzzle, it's just a standard peg puzzle. You're gonna work on the labels and naming them, making the sounds, but you can also do something like this. You can take the pieces out and pretend they're cars down a road, driving my car around, and use the puzzle pieces as your vehicles. That's another way to expand that play and get into more action words. As children learn language, they start out with their nouns and then they grow into using verbs and actions, and then a little bit later on they get into those descriptors. So for our children, we're trying to enter those first words. We want to mostly stick to the nouns and the actions. You don't want to get too far into descriptors of colors and numbers. If they do know those, that's great, but we really want to focus on building their core vocabulary of nouns and actions. Another thing we can do when we play with this is we can work on fill-in phrases. So that's when you're going to be pausing and you're waiting for your child to say something to finish your phrase. So you might hold up one of the animals and go, I see the, and you wait and you're just keeping that look going for your child, and they might say horse, and then you give them the horse. They could gesture, they could use a sound. Whatever communication they attempt, you want to honor that. So we always want to be very quick to respond when our child's communicating with us. If it's a gesture, if it's a grunt, if it's a word, if it's a scream and a tantrum, they're communicating with you. So you need to respond. The great thing about this 20 minutes of play is you are fully engaged in what your child is doing, so you can respond to them appropriately. I find that when I'm really busy with my children and I'm not completely attending, I often don't know why they're upset. I don't know why they're having a fit, but I have to figure it out. It makes it much harder. But within this structure of play with this one toy, you'll be able to easily figure out, oh, follow their eyes. They're looking at the dog. They must want the dog here. Let's have the dog. And you can put it that way. Another way with the keep the pieces and to create opportunities for language is you could put all of these into a bag and pull one out at a time. You can put them in a bucket so the child can't exactly see them, but you can pull them out and show the child, and it makes it a little bit more exciting. So while we do this, we always want to be narrating, commenting. That's how we're going to build language in our young language learners. If they aren't talking yet, you are their model. You are their voice. You give them their words so that they know what these things are called and they know how to ask for them. Something you want to avoid when working is negative talk. So if they're trying to put the rabbit in over here by the chicken, because it does kind of look a little bit like that shape, instead of saying, oh no, that's not where it goes, that's not the rabbit, you want to say, keep it positive, like, oh, that's the chicken. Oh look, I have the chicken. Here, let's put the chicken in. Where does the rabbit go? Let's look, where's the rabbit? Oh, where is it? There's the rabbit. Can you put the rabbit in there? And then your child can put the rabbit in. And if they do it again, if they try for the duck and they're over here on the pig, remember, no, that doesn't go there, that won't fit. You want to make it positive. Remind them, oh, that's the piggy. Where's the pig? Oh, here he is. And maybe a child picks up the pig and puts the pig in, and then you go, where does the duck go? And you're working and you look, oh, over in the water. The duck is in the water. By giving them that language and modeling for them and narrating what you were looking at, what your child is looking at, you are giving them lots of opportunities to hear those words and build that language. Something else you want to do is if the child is doing a really good job with this and you're giving them all kinds of good praise, like, way to go, well done, you want to add language to that. That's another opportunity to build language because you want to label what they did that's good. We don't want them just to hear good job. We want to hear, hey, you fit the dog in the puzzle. You found it. Way to go. You found the dog. Or if they have the cow and they hold it up and they go, moo, you say, oh, you're right. You said moo. That's the cow. So you want to give that feedback that's really positive and that is affirming what they have said and done, because that lets them know you saw it, you heard them, you listened, and they are like, wow, I want to do that again because mom heard me and she was so excited. So I'm now going to go, nay. And your child holds up another one and you go, yay, you said nay. Good job. That's the horse. Let's put the horse in. And your child just feels that confidence building in them. So I hope you guys have fun with puzzles. I really enjoy puzzles. I think these puzzles especially, because they have the two different elements, and the peg puzzles with the engines and the emergency vehicles are really fun for kids that are really into those cars. So have fun, play with your child, and enjoy your time.